Hey guys, Brad M73 here. Welcome back to another episode of the Aoshima Knight Rider Season 1 kit build. As you can kind of see here, I've put the body, the shell, onto KITT and just kind of did like a little staging here. I have to be kind of careful, but that happens because I don't have the front end glued on yet. Quite a few steps to go until we get to this point, but I just wanted to kind of put things together a little bit just to kind of get that finished effect. I'm not going to worry about it. And, you know, just kind of, try to get a little bit of inspiration. See, there's the scanner, to continue on. Let's see. Let's go ahead. We're going to take the bottom off here. No, and before I go too much further, I want to apologize in retrospect for the last episode. I do all of my filming with my iPhone. It's an iPhone 6S, and it does really good 4K video. But I always have to remember to turn off, or basically put the phone in airplane mode. Otherwise, my microphone interferes really badly with all of the radio signals. So you get like, like all these weird sounds while I am trying to do the build. So the last episode was not too terribly long. I think it's probably around 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I just wanted to apologize to you guys because it annoys me, and I'm sure it annoys you guys. And I just hope that you guys can make it through the build. So that's essentially what happened, and I wanted to acknowledge that because it frustrates me to all get out when I can't do that. So probably I don't think I'm gonna do it today. But because it's like freezing cold out, it was like 32 degrees Fahrenheit last night, which is 0 Celsius if you are, outside of the United States. And yeah, it was absolutely flipping cold. And so I don't know if I have to wait for the temperature to get up to around 50 or 60 degrees. And I think it's supposed to get to that point by the end of this week. And so I'm going to do the probably the priming of the bottom, and then we'll go ahead and put on that. Then I'll be able to prime the exhaust pipes, and also just go over them with that aluminum color, and to get them repainted and then installed onto the lower body. So I'm going to set that aside. And, I need to get my instructions out here. So right now, we're going to start off, I don't know, hopefully you guys will be able to see this okay. We have the dashboard. So we have step 9 that we have to do here. Focus. And this is essentially putting the dashboard pieces together. Now I am going to refrain from doing the steering wheels and the control pod consoles because I'm going to have to get in there and really concentrate on my painting. But we have a couple things that we can do. One is we can glue the seat backs on. I'll have to take a look at this, but I think we might be able to do some of this. And essentially what I'm going to do is prime this in black, and then I'm going to mask off all of the areas that are supposed to be, the tan, the inner tan color. Same with the doors here. And then I'll actually go back and repaint everything that's tan and just leave everything that's black, just a primer black color. And then we pretty much get into doing the windows, the headlights, the front end, assembling all of the mirrors and all that good stuff. And then we'll pretty much be done. We do the back end, installing the they call it the inner box, but you know, the interior onto the chassis, plugging in the LED here, and then fitting the upper and lower chassis, and then I think we're done. And then there's the parts list. So, okay, so I'm gonna get this out of the way. And if you guys hear me like sniffling, it's because I don't know what the heck is going on, but it got really super cold last night, and for some reason, I don't know if it's let all the pollen out of the air, you know, out of the trees or the ground or wherever the heck it comes from. But I've basically had like next to no sleep last night. It's been awful, and I'm so tired. All right, so we've got, what the heck are these things? Oh, they go in the back. There's like these long, hopefully in focus, these long bits. They go, I don't know if you can see the holes. They go there and there. So I'm just going to start cutting this stuff out here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to switch my camera position there. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, but I just wanted to. Where was the side? Oh, there it is. Down here on the right side. That we have the dash, which we're actually going to have to put some decals on, and I'm telling you right now, some of these decals are tiny, like super tiny. Where did the decal sheet go? Here it is. I won't use it here, but I won't use anything. There's nowhere for anything to go. And then these are our windows. These are the T-top windows and the rear window, and then the rear blackout brake cover, which oddly has the vertical slits in them. If you look here, hopefully you can see the vertical slits. So I might try to flip it around so that the back is flat, because KITT didn't have vertical slits on the rear light. So I'm going to see how it goes in, and I don't know, I'll worry about that later. But look how tiny these bits are here, and apparently somehow number 3 is supposed to fit right there. I just don't see how that's possible. So I might actually get some decal solvent or whatever to help it kind of sit down in that detailed recess. So, well, anyway, let's cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out, Briad. Okay. Okay, so those are done. And so essentially this is going to sit up here, something like this. Yeah, I think it's going to sit right in there like this. And so what we'll do, I think this is kind of like what the original Trans Am dash was, and this is kind of like the KITT insert over top of that. If you can see that. So I'm going to attach all this, and I might even go ahead and attach the switch pod to this, but I'm a little bit concerned about getting down into this recess here because I'm going to have to be, let's see here, what is the color? I'll have to go and actually look and see. I'm going to get a picture of the real dash and actually try to mimic that as closely as I possibly can. But yeah, we'll just prime this whole part. But foist, yeah, this is actually going to sit right there. So this will be kind of fun not to to glue into place, because I don't have any plastic cement. That's what you're actually supposed to use with this kit. It is plastic cement and not cyanoacrylate superglue. Apparently the plastic cement bonds much more quickly. Oh. No. Try not to touch the flat surfaces too much with... and oh my gosh, I just did it big time. So what I'll do is I'll get some really fine grit sandpaper, and I'll just go over top of this just to get out, you know, where the super glue overran, I guess. Okay, so we can let that sit for a moment. And let's see here. We also have this switch pod, which is here, and the steering wheel. I think I'm going to use this one, the one without both of the circles, but I have to actually kind of go back and look and see which one. Because it does show part 51, but it doesn't show part... Does this even have a number? 71? I might have to look through the instructions a little bit more. The next thing I want to do is actually cut these seats out. We're going to cut the seat backs in before I go and prime these. And like I said, I'll probably have to wait till later this week to do the priming, because today is Monday, it's freezing cold out, and yeah. So let's see, this one was part 62, 50. Okay, so it looks like the seat backs are, you know, you can use either one with either seat. Good. Good. And there's also kind of like a flat side, and then there's a textured side, and you want the textured side facing outward. So if you're also doing this build, you know, just make sure that you're facing the correct way before you proceed with the glue. And I'll just test fit this really quick. So it's going to go on there like that, I hope. Kind of have to press it in a little bit. Where are the... Okay, the sprue marks there. Okay, the primer should cover most of that up. And then we also have some sprue marks here on the bottom, which aren't really a big deal. You're never going to see these. Okay. Oh, again, I'm sorry. So sorry for the sniffles. I'm going to have to try to go, you know, and edit those out after I'm done with the video, or, you know, done filming. I am just absolutely miserable today. Okay. Let's see which is the one I finished. This is it. So we'll just pop the top there. Okay. And then these will basically sit right in here. Oh. Somehow. Like that. Whoop. And we've got this piece here. And the other seat. And this, you know, on the top here, I really want to be careful not to remove too much of the texturing along the top of the seat, because it does have a little bit of a texture to it, but I want to get that sprue mark out of there. Okay. So that will sit right in there like this. We also have a center console piece, the gear shifter, and then the dash is essentially just going to sit right on top like this. Somehow, wait a second. Wait, is this, did I not, oh no, I didn't sand these off. Whoops. You guys are probably yelling at me, don't forget to sand the sprues off on the sides. And I was like doing everything but that. Okay. That's on the bottom, you'll never see that. And then okay. So yes, this will sit up basically just about like this. And there's even like another little box that we have to put underneath there, but it's essentially going to sit like that. We're going to have our two seats in here somehow. Like that. And then we'll, you know, make sure that everything is primed and everything. Let's see, what else do we have to do? I guess I can go ahead and put the other seat back on, so let's do that really quick. Yikes. Just wipe some of the excess super glue off there. And yeah, next up, I have the center console piece right here, but this might be something that I might want to wait, because otherwise I am going to be, let's just go ahead and cut it out at least. We can get that out of the way. But I'm going to need like some magnifiers to really see exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm actually thinking about ordering like the glasses with the little monocular, or what is it? A monocular. So yeah, this sets in here, but I'm thinking that even if I, paint all this, just getting in there to hit those little buttons is going to be quite a challenge. But actually, the more I look at this, and I'm pretty sure I should just go ahead and glue this. I'll probably just glue it right now. If I can ever get it back apart. Yeah, I'll be able to get it back apart. Or can I? There we go. And I'll just put the glue on the holes right there. That way, none of the glue squishes out on the outside. And, alright, so that's done. And then where's my little gear shifter at? Where are you, little buddy? Oh, there he is right there. What is this? Oh, this is the printer. That actually has to go, let's see. This actually has to go on the bottom of the dash. So I'm going to have to do that. Oh, man. Doing this is going to be tons of fun. I just realized something. Let's see here. It might make more sense to prime this in black and then paint all of this in tan and then just mask off the black parts, because the only part that's going to be black on the doors are the part across the top, this kind of L shape right here, which I'm going to have to do by brush, and then the door controls and the armrest here. Oh, this is going to be kind of a pain. But I don't know. Somehow I'm going to make it through this. So aside from having like a mild nervous breakdown and... No, not really. I'm kind of trying to piece through like how I really want to put all of this together and how I want to, paint everything. I know that I want to... I'm going to have to paint these little boxes, and I'm kind of wondering, or not boxes, but switches, am I going to be able to do that effectively with the seats in the way? I think I probably can, I'm not really too worried about that. The dash, we do have to do, there's some considerations that need to be taken into consideration. For example, I want to cut the control pod out here. Oh my gosh, I've got really bad camera position today, guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's a couple days later after I filmed the first part of this episode. I just had to kind of walk away because it just was not working. Now, what's kind of weird is, even though this is like a season 1, this is a sprue for a season 4 car. And the reason I know that is because I can tell by the little button locations. Now, where did I put my... Oh, there it is. See, I moved stuff around. I was working on the Millennium Falcon a couple days ago and moved everything. See, why does this have there's like a big chunk of plastic on this, so we have to cut that off. There's also the door pieces we have to cut out, which I should kind of do this from the front, but I can't really tell. See how there's like this big, it's like a big chunk of plastic. Is it gonna focus? So there's like a big square chunk of plastic like right there. So I'm gonna just snip that off, I hope. Without, yeah, there we go. And then we gotta get the back of it here. Let's go back and focus in down here again. I just want this circle to go away. There's one on the other side too, so let's get the side nice and flat. The biggest thing with modeling, and I get a lot of people that talk about, well, what kind of models should I start with? And it's not so much what you start with, it's how you finish it. Because you can take a pretty, crap model sometimes and do a really good job, really do it justice. And, or you can take a really good model and mess it up big time. And trust me, I've seen people do that. Just trying to wait, there's a P. Oh, this stick, okay. This part with the little, there's like a little nub there, that sticks out towards the user. So let's see, I want to try to fit this on. Oh, wrong way. Let's see if I can zoom in here. So I want this to go on like this, but I still am going to need to be able to paint like behind the switch back here. So that kind of tells me I'm going to have to paint this piece and this piece separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of piece of tape, like a masking tape, over this and cut it to that shape. And we'll go ahead and do that right now. Just take a little piece of tape here, stick it on there, okay. The reason why I'm doing this is, again, I'm going back to always wanting to have something, you know, to the plastic to bond to the plastic. Oh, and go out, if you're going to model, go out and buy yourself a really good set of X-Acto knives. So we got the tape on there, okay? And I'm just going to cut it. Hopefully I don't chop my finger off here. You do have to be very careful. Because trust me, I'm sure I cut deeply into my body when I was a child making model kits with X-Acto knives. It's just kind of goes with the territory, unfortunately. Okay, so I can just kind of go along the bottom here. Part of the problem is this masking tape doesn't stick really good, you know, really well to this plastic. And I just want it to be, it's kind of hard to see, but I just want it to be on the kind of protruded part. Ow. Okay. Almost there. There we go. So that's essentially, whoops, that's essentially going to create enough of a mask around there that I'm going to at least be able to prime the rest of it and be good to go. And another thing, I've got some black semi-gloss paint. I'm actually going to test that because I'm not sure if I want the dash to be flat or if I want it to be mostly flat but have like a little bit of a shine to it. Let's see, what else do I have to install here? Get rid of the chairs. Oh, this piece here. Let's zoom out again. We have to put the gear shifter in, which is on this sprue right here. And we also have the brake pedals. No. Okay, there we go. Very lightly on the top here. Okay, and then we're going to want to hit the side where the seam, the sprue seam is. Again, very, very lightly. Spin it around to the other side. Very, very lightly. And, you know, you may need to buy some magnifying glasses. I'm actually thinking about buying those big weird jeweler's glasses that you stick on your head while you're gluing. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Let's see here. All right. And we have glue. So right in the hole there. And that basically goes down and it's going to stay there. And then let's see, the brake pedals. And then we even have like the little computer printer box that oddly they don't tell us to install yet. They tell us to install the dash first, and then in the very next page they're like, okay, then install the little printer. So let's see. Yeah, then install the printer. So we'll do. I kind of don't want to do the brake pedals yet, but let's see. Let's cut them off the sprue at least. Whoops. We zoomed all the way out. Yeah, there we go. And then the gas pedals, or the gas pedal, we have to paint black, but then there's going to be like a little strip of green on either side, which represents the little green LEDs that as you would push down on the gas, the LEDs would run up the pedals on the original show, which was always pretty cool. And that's going to fit in like this, but it's like, am I going to be able to fit in there to get to those little LEDs? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I already see part of the pedal that I want to continue to file, and that's the top of the brake. A little bit of sprue overrun there. And again, buy yourself some precision files for filing, because you will be so glad you did. And they're only like $2 or $3 each. They're not really that expensive. Okay. So the shifter's in. The seats, okay, then it talks about the doors. I'm still not exactly sure how I'm going to paint the doors yet. I got to look at a few reference photos, but we're going to paint them all black, and then I'm probably going to mask out the parts that need to be painted black, and then paint the rest tan, or at least I'm going to try to. I may not be able to. I might have to do some of it by hand, but yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. Oh, and then we have these two little bars back here. This one and this one. Just don't break. Oh, yes. Now these parts are going to get painted tan, and they're going to fit back here, but actually I don't think they should really go on yet, because I need to paint the, the interior panel. So I'm going to just sand the two really quick. I'm going to put them in the box to, for safekeeping. I got my box over there. bottom isn't really a big deal. It's more the top that needs to be sanded. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to probably end this episode. When I come back, though, hopefully all of this will be painted in black and tan. I don't know that I'll have the switches and everything painted, but we're going to get all this done. And because I want to move on to the things like, you know, the windows, installing things into the upper body here. I'm not sure that I'm going to install everything just yet because I don't have my my gloss coat for the body yet. I don't even know when it's coming. I have it on back order right now, and it could be, you know, a month. I just do not know. But I want to get as many of the black plastic pieces glued onto the body as I possibly can. Excuse me, and then you know, because I want to paint that, and before I even install the windows, I want to paint all that gloss before I, you know, put the windows in. So it's going to be, you know, kind of weird going from here on out, but we'll get it. I'll get there, especially once I get all the paints that I needed. So we still have, you know, bits of a car here. We've got the interior. I'm going to get all this primed and painted here. And when we see you back, we'll be a few steps further. Guys, thanks again so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you love hanging out with me, watching me build model kits and, you know, dealing with my frustrations and all those kind of things, and making sure that I put my cap on my super glue, you know, all that good stuff. And you know, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to contribute to the build, there is a donate link down in the video description. Your donations will go towards this and many other builds coming in the future. So thank you very much, guys. This has been the Aoshima Knight Rider Season 1 kit build. And I am Brad M73. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now. Hit that like button.